Thank y'all for tuning in. You're now tuning in to my podcast, SF Johnny, Seriously Focused Johnny. You tune in to Difficult People Chronicles. Today's episode is called Spiritual Dreams. But before I get into that, let me tell y'all. So, I aired an episode called Common Sense some time ago. I felt propelled to air that episode because there's a lot of people in this world that just, I don't know what's going on with their mind. I don't know if it's something in the air, something they eating. I don't know, too much weed, too much alcohol, too much being around stupid people. I don't know what it is. I don't. So I would say days after airing that episode, this person came up to me and asked me a dumb question. And I sat like, are you serious? So they said, what state is America in? I thought I was on bloopers and it was a trick question and there was a joke behind it. So I just looked at them like, what? And they said, what state is America in? So I said, were you born here? They said, yeah. And then immediately my spirit got agitated. And this person is in their 30s, 40s. So I said, I don't know. Like calmness came over me, and I was like, I don't know. And then I just sat back. So, what came up immediately after that was the chorus to Boys to Men, and it was just part of the chorus, and it was like, till the end of the road. So, I was like, so that was in reference to their thought pattern. I'm assuming, right? At the time, I could not stop laughing. I was just laughing out loud, like, oh my goodness, the person stood there and then they walked away. I guess they were trying to talk to me, but they couldn't get a word out of me because I was too busy laughing. I don't know if God was giving me another message pertaining to that song for whomever, like that part of the song, or it was just pertaining to that person standing in front of me with that stupid question. And the reason why I say that is because a few months ago, God came to me and basically said that person is dangerous. Same person, dangerous. So I've been keeping myself at a distance. And then what came after that was lazy. And that's why I came up with the episode Common Sense, because I found that that person is not the only one. Like, I know sometimes we all have bad days where we may say something off or say the wrong thing or just say something real stupid and sit back and say, why did I say that? Like, what was I thinking of? You know? But I feel with this person, they want you to do the thinking for them. And if I feel like this, if you could go out there and buy expensive items and be all over the place in the world and not investing in your mind, something's wrong. Something's really wrong because you born here and they teach you this in school. Like, you're born here and you're asking me, what state is America in? I said, child, listen. I sat back. I said, mm-mm. Not, it's like my spirit went from agitated, and then once it I calmed down, what came out of my mouth was, I don't know. So I don't know if that message end of the road meant the end of her brain or whatever was going on, or it's a message to come and it's about something else. I'll keep y'all posted with that one. So this episode is called Spiritual Dreams. One of the reasons you all are suffering is because a lot of you all are not praying against your dreams. Remember, I said some time ago that a lot of things happen in your dream happens in the spiritual before it happens in the physical. So it happens in the spiritual realm, and then you see everything play out here on earth. So let me give you a glimpse of how that coincides with the enemy. You have an enemy who goes home and does witchcraft on somebody, and then all of a sudden, the victim will see it play out in their dream. Don't pray against it, and then it happens exactly what they saw in their dream. Or, like they say, dreams don't come straight. It just, something crazy happens in their dream and they don't pray against it, and it happens right there smack in their face. Another example is Satan. Satan will already have a narrative for how things in your life should go. And God will show up in your dream and give you a warning. And you didn't pray against whatever's to come. So it plays out. Now, I'm going to give you a glimpse of how it pertains to yourself. Meaning that sometimes God could be trying to change you, and He wants you to do some things. And then in your dream, He's warning you. Like, you need to do what I told you to do. And then you wake up and you just disregard your dream and do whatever. hmm And then whatever you were supposed to do that you didn't do, it's not a happy ending. Because maybe your door of opportunity closed, or whatever was supposed to be handed to you, God was like, you know what, you're not ready. I say this because I was watching a lot of this. I was watching, what was I watching? I was doing a case study, and I was watching the interview with Biggie Smalls, where he was just basically talking about his dreams about death. hmm Dreams about death, and he was having them like back to back to back to back. I said to myself, I know that before he died, he was not getting any sleep, because danger was right there, right there. And he never thought that it would be. If the situation had happened differently and he was alive, he would never have thought that what he saw in his dream played out in the world the way it did. Another example is myself. When I was young, I used to keep a little, well, I still have it. I have a black book of a lot of the dreams that I had. And because those dreams were so strange in nature, I would just write it down. Sometimes I would get scared, but I never prayed against it. I didn't know how. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what the dreams meant. Like, I had a dream one time where there was a guy around me who was a wolf in sheep's clothing. He did me dirty, and God dealt with him. Something happened to him where he ended up in jail. I'm going to say that I didn't know to pray against what was to come. It wasn't until, I would say, like, say for instance, if I had the dream on Monday, I didn't pray against that dream on Monday. I didn't pray against that dream, period. So a week later, everything unfolded in who he was. hmm Some of y'all had dreams from God about your promise, but either one of three things happened. Either the devil interfered and you saw it in your dream and did nothing. Like, you didn't pray against the dream. You didn't cancel that dream. You didn't go to God in detail and say, God, this is the dream I had, you know, and then cancel it and ask God, what does the dream mean? Number two, you had the dream but did not know what it meant, and went to somebody and they told you something totally different. So you just didn't do nothing. Number three, you had the dream, but you didn't believe that it would come to light. And a lot of times, what I find, I'm seeing a lot of people having these crazy dreams, and they just sit on top of it because they don't know, because nobody tells them. You know how many people I went to when I was going through my spiritual warfare for help, because I was just like, I need help. I was like, yo, I can't sleep. I can't do this. Or this is going on. Or that's going on. And I started at one point getting panicky. But then I went to God. And even before I panic, I remember not being able to sleep properly. Because I was telling everybody, I was like, look, this is what's going on. Ever since I started this or I did this, this has been happening. It's been like a fight. It's been a fight. Some people even laughed behind my back about me going through spiritual warfare. And then you have one person that say, ignore your dreams. Because that person was a part of trying to tear me down and kill me. Yup. Yes, they was. They said, oh, ignore your dreams. I went through it too. Same person trying to kill me, along with all the others. Because, you know, they could see what was going on too. So they added on with the minions. And I sat there and I said, I'm not doing that. Like, I heard what the person said and I shook my head, yeah. And then I got home and I said, nope, I'm not doing that. Yeah. And I made a conscious decision to say, it's either me or you. And it ain't gonna be me. Cause I'm gonna go to God and ask God to fight my battle. Cause you think you slick. Like, what kind of heart do you have that you stepping in front of me with a bold-faced lie, and you gonna say, "Oh, I had that dream too. Oh, I had them kind of dreams, and don't do nothing." You stepped in front of me with that. I was like, "Wow, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Since you want to play stupid, okay, cool." Because you see, when I went and told that person my dream, I didn't tell them everything. I didn't. Never let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. I didn't tell them everything. I just told them bits and pieces. See, I didn't tell them what I saw about them. I just told a little bit about me. hmm And they say, "Oh, nah, just such and such and such." Yeah, right. Um, and going to people in a church. Went to a pastor and he was like X, Y, and Z. hmm And I said to myself, you so high on that pulpit and you can't even see what you going through. And but you more into, I would say, the fame of being a pastor. That's what I would say. Because it's like he wanted that praise so bad. People to praise him, you know. And meanwhile, in his own backyard, he had a lot going on. But I asked him a question because I thought maybe he had an answer. He didn't have an answer. I just saw what was going on. And I saw what was going on after I asked him. Like, I would say months later. hmm I said, he can't even see that. He's so busy trying to be a part of the clique and yeah. And then there was who else? I went to a few people. And I said, these people, like, some people got the answers, they don't want to give it to you. So they tell you that, oh, what you're going through is all in your head. And I said, I know I'm not going crazy. You mean to tell me I'm having a dream and fighting like crazy in my sleep, waking up with like a scratch on my arm or my leg, and people telling me, oh, it's all in my mind. I said, all right, y'all gonna need me before I need you. Trust me. And I went to God. I went to God in prayer, dived into my Bible, started reading certain scriptures that I grew up on that my mother told me about. And at the time when I was going through it, I don't think I told my mother a lot about it because I thought I had everything under control. I said, all I need to do is just get some sleep and stop with all this fighting in my sleep, and I'm good. So I didn't tell her a lot of everything. hmm But yeah, and that's one of the reasons why. And it was in the middle. Let me back up. It was in the midst of my spiritual battle when it was intense, because I still go through little things now and then, but I know what I'm dealing with. And yeah, it was in the midst that God came to me and said, I want you to help others. And I was just like, what? I can't even, like, I can't even get a bit of sleep. Like, yeah. And then little by little, he started rolling out little bits and pieces of my puzzle. I would say my puzzle. And I was just like, wow. Like, I feel like at the time I was like, I feel like I haven't slept in days, like a good sleep in days. Um, at some point, I felt like I was walking on air and I was exhausted. And God said, I want you to educate others. And it was during those times when I was diving through the Bible and going over different things. I said, you know what? Let me read this chapter. I never read this chapter before. Can't even pronounce the chapter, but let me read it. And I started to read it and I said, wow, this Bible got the keys in it. And then God started showing me different things. Then he started communicating to me more. And then my enemy got more angrier and tried different tactics. And I said, oh, this is what they mean when they say the devil is crafty, always planning, plotting, and scheming, always trying to monitor you because that's the only way he knows. And it's like, regardless of what the enemy's throwing at you, you gotta have the tools, the armor to stand. See, I thought it was just like, just standing, just stand, stand for God. No, it comes with armor. You got to know the word, faith. Yeah, you got to stand. That's what it means to stand. But you have a lot of people that don't teach you that. And then a lot of people that it's like you talk to somebody about spiritual warfare. You know how many business times I give out business cards or flyers and tell people certain things. And as soon as I say the word spiritual warfare, they just get scared and want to walk off. And you could see the fear in their eyes. hmm And it's just like, wow. And so I'm gonna take it back to when I saw that video with Biggie's interview, and he was like how he was having dreams like that, like fighting. No, no, he said he was having bad dreams, like he was dying or whatever, something like that. And I was just like, so that interview, a lot of people saw, because he was a celebrity. I mean, he is well, deceased celebrity, but a lot of people saw that interview before I did. And you mean to tell me nobody told him how to pray against it? And the reason is maybe they didn't know. And his enemy was right there in front of him. Right there in front of him. And as I looked at that video, of the interview, because I like to watch cases and try to solve them. I said the enemy stopped him because he knew he was trying to do great things other than what he would see. That whole rapping and this was just the beginning, the stepping stone. What we didn't see is him 9 times out of 10 changing, and what I'm saying is changing his life. Everybody has a change period. It's either you accept it or you don't. And the problem comes is when you accept the change. Like you say, I'm a change. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I went through it, but I want to be different. I want to live a life of, with God in my life more. I see how these people here are in darkness, and I want to be in light. I want to be at peace. And it's like these evil people, evil spirited, they got claws. So they trying to real hard hold you back, and they use all these tactics and schemes to hold you back. Things you don't even know about. Like they and I say don't know about, meaning that you can have. I'm gonna just give you an example. I had a meeting to go to, and you kind of know the enemies in place. Those enemies that all of a sudden they call you the last minute and say, we have an emergency and such and such and such. You know that you need to be at a particular place at a particular time, and you know your enemy. That enemy is going to try to stop you from doing greatness. That enemy is going to try to stop you from changing. That enemy don't want you to walk with God, because the thing is, when you walk with God and God says, okay, your time with these idiots is up, and I'm going to move you over here. That enemy ain't got nobody to badger but themselves, because they no longer got the clutch on you. That's why I said in one of my shorts, my YouTube shorts, is that sometimes we are lesson in other people's life. Lessons sometimes come twofold. Check out that short. Yeah. And before everything all goes down, 9 times out of 10, it comes in a dream, it comes in a message, it's a vision. God will talk to you, God will send a message through somebody else. And the enemy will even try to stop that. I was shocked that when I saw the case, I was shocked that Biggie even had um those kind of dreams, because his enemy was close. And a lot of times when your enemy is close, they try to mask themselves as your friend, meaning that they will try to mask themselves, and then they try to kill your dream life because they don't want you to see God's warning. But I'm seeing a lot of people this year is getting taken down. A lot of people's getting taken down. A lot of people's elevating. Even those, and you have people in, and I'm gonna say this. We don't know what our path is. And I'm going to go more about it in another episode. We don't know what our path is until God tell us. Somebody's path can be to be an actor. And it's not just being an actor. That's just one step. The other step is to receive the money from acting or whatever they're doing, or to meet a particular person that could be somewhere across the world, and that one person is trying to meet the right person to impact other people's life in a good way. Yeah. Or families. Not these people out here that they celebrities and they taking all this money, and then they turning around doing other people dirty, because that's how they get ahead. And then they standing in front the TV with that mask on to say they the good-hearted person and talk about, and then they talk about God in the mix and all this other stuff. Not them. I'm talking about people that actually do good, that went through some kind of suffering, like hard suffering. Yeah, yeah. And the reason I say that is because I know that when I started going through some things, my enemy wanted real hard for me to go back to my old ways because they didn't want me to change. And that's what I saw with Biggie. I saw that they didn't want him to change. hmm And who knows? He could have changed and maybe he would have made more money, or maybe he would have um not make as much money. But the money piece is not what it was. It was the fact that he wanted to change and he was about to do other things the way God would have wanted him to do. Yep. And that's why sometimes when we look at people on this earth, I don't care if they famous or not, and let's say that their life is crazy, like they done did some things. As soon as they get that whole spiritual awakening, or feeling like I want to change my life and I want to do something different and I want to walk closer to God and I want to be happy about what I'm doing. All them people around them ain't gonna like the change. It's only gonna be, it might be a handful, it might be one or two, but they gonna go through it. And because they don't know how to fight spiritual warfare, they end up dead. Yep, they end up dead. Fighting spiritual warfare is it's gonna be all the time, you know. But the thing is that after a while, you kind of know the enemy's tactic. You like, oh, that's the enemy. Let me say this scripture real quick. Let me pray to God real quick. Oh, let me pull over. You get something could be going on. You in the car. You like, oh, let me pull over. Hold on, let me pull over. Father God, or you may be driving and praying, walking and praying. I took things so serious when everything went down. I mean, I was thinking that it would pass. Like my enemy would get over the nonsense. Like, get over it. Get over the fact that I just don't want to hang out with you anymore. Our life is different. Our lifestyle is different. Get over it. It didn't happen that way. Or get over the fact that I'm not going to allow you to try to dog me. See, it's only but so many chances you give people. You think people going to change and they don't change, but it's only a certain amount of chances I'm going to give you. See, the first time when I say you do something to me and then I say something like, well, why did you do that? And you give me an excuse. And at the time, I wasn't spiritually strong the way I am now. I was spiritually weak. So I said, why you do that? And they give me an excuse. And I said, all right. And then the second time, mm-mm. And then I walk off and then all of a sudden, you get angry and you try to hurt me. You really think I'm not going to come out fighting? If I could fight you in the physical, what make you think I'm not going to try to fight you in the spiritual? People be playing out here. Yep. And a lot of those things I saw in my dreams. hmm A lot of the things I saw in my dreams. One of the things I didn't do, so here's a tip, is I did not say that person wouldn't do that to me. Even if I might have felt that way, like, oh, that person wouldn't do that, I still prayed. I still prayed against it. And what I said was, um, in my head, I said, whatever happens, happens. Meaning that if you're not guilty, you're fine. But if you're guilty, there's nothing else I could say about it. That's on you. So when I ask God to release punishment on the enemy because of whatever I feel they did, or if I go to, meaning like If I go to God in prayer and I say, God, did this person do such and such and such? If they did, you know, if they didn't do it, they fine. But if they did it, there's nothing I could do. I was like, I'm not going to save them and they did me dirty. Because that's what some people want me to do, even now. hmm They expect it. But if God say it ain't my time to go, it ain't my time to go. So they just gonna have to suck that up. That's their business. And another thing too is that when they want death on people and they don't deliver, I always say that. When they want death on people, meaning the enemy, and they don't deliver, Satan's gonna come back to them. Say you owe me. And then I feel like he'll get so impatient that he just say, you know what, I'm gonna just take you, meaning the enemy. And they be having the fight of their life. Because whatever they put out there to hurt that innocent person is the same thing coming back to them. So that's it for today. If you wanna learn how to tackle your dreams, sign up for a session. Go to my website. I'm gonna put back up the prices. I took it down for a particular reason because I needed to control the clientele that I had coming in. That's why I would tell people to email me and stuff like that, and the schedules. And some people wanted particular days, and yeah, I'm about to open it back up. It's still open. It's just I wanted people to email me, but I'm gonna put the prices back up anyway. That's it for today. Check out my YouTube episodes, the shorts. Check out my store. For suggested topics, email me. All the links is underneath. Love me more and I love you more. Later.